That river, as you know, right now has Line 5 going through its reservation, crosses the main waterways there, crosses Borchard Creek. The White River, the Bad River, and then the Denemy tributaries on the east. Denemy tributaries are a lot like the slopes, steep slopes, quick, flashy kind of waterways, as in this part of the watershed. There are three main areas that really concern Bad River, starting with river crossing. Starting with the river crossing that's in that, everyone see that okay? Starting with the river crossing that's in that yellow box. Line 5 goes right up through the middle of there.
Would it be better if we turn these lights off to see that one? Try it out anyway?
Yeah, let's try that.
Oh, that's way better.
Yeah.
And that then meant Bad River procuring and really working to learn about the interaction of the land and water and what's happening in the watershed. Shortly after this, the flood in 2016 occurred, and major changes then, and then although the worst part of the flooding was west of here, 2018, another flood. It's really Bad River's teams of water scientists and pipeline expert, not the company, but Bad Rivers, that then identified this stretch here and that water, what was happening at the water course right there. And here's what's happened over the years. On the far, as you're looking at it left, in 1939, before there was a pipeline, you can see what that kind of point looked like. And then in 1992, the first photo with the pipeline, there's about a 200-foot gap between the line and the river. In 2015, before the flood, about 50 feet. 2016, after the flood, that's about it was about 35 feet, and then today it's about 28 feet. This is there's data that though represented as safe operation by the company didn't disclose kind of that closing gap, and pending really sometime in the next year or two exposure of a line to a river that, as you recall from the flood in 2016, is really amazing in its power. Let alone in the spring, what happens with the snow runoff. This is one of three areas on the river where similar kind of land and water changes are taking place. None of it disclosed by the company, all represented as safe. As a result, Bad River said to the company, and all it is asked of the company is to get out of the watershed. The company took no action to do that, so Bad River initiated a lawsuit to get it out of the watershed completely. Really, Bad River's position is that this type of activity and these types of changes are happening all over the watershed, in one way or the other. So Bad River's position is that it can't be operated safely here. The purpose of tonight really is to just kind of like be open to how landowners can respond to those initial kind of communications, initial interactions from the company, and maybe pause and join with kind of neighbors, other people in the community, and talk about these issues before making decisions. And that is in large part what Mark and then Brian and then Mark and Keith and Gwen and Ben are here to kind of discuss with you if you're open to that. So thanks for the introduction, and now Mark Borchard.
Thanks for coming out tonight. I realize there's a Packer game in a couple hours. So make sure we get out by then. And I'm a native Wisconsinite. So I grew up going to church and then watching the Packers. So it's the Dolphins on a Sunday. So my name is Mark Borchard. I grew up in Appleton. And this is my wife, Gwen Stone. We've been married for about 40 years, 39 and a half. And we live west of Marshfield. We live right about here. This is our place. And we have four oil pipelines owned by Enbridge going through our property. 4. And when our youngest son left home in 2013, we were empty nesters. And we were looking forward to that time after raising kids for 25 years. But then in 2014, Enbridge surveyed our property. This easement is 80 feet wide. That's 80 feet in which they packed themselves 4 pipelines. They surveyed another 311 feet of our property and even approached us about taking our home. And despite wanting to slow down a little bit, Gwen and I said, you know, this isn't right. It's not right that this company could take our home or take our land. So we got organized. And it's rewarding for me, after 4.5 years of working on this, it's rewarding for me to be in front of you tonight talking about this issue. I never thought when we had our first neighborhood meeting in the fall of, I guess it was 2014, the neighbors getting together, that we'd be at this point for the members that we have and the things that we've done. And the other point I want to make is that Gwen and I are not, we've raised our kids, we've been paying taxes, we go to church, we serve our community, we've never been arrested. So we're not activists normally. This is not the sort of thing we wanted to do, but we got pulled into this to save our home. So when we bought our house in 1994, we had one pipeline by the Lakehead Pipeline Company. And moving in, raising kids, we didn't think anything about it, just the one pipeline there. Then in 1998, Enbridge knocked on our door, and this is usually the way it works. There's no letter, there's no phone call, it's just a knock on the door. Hey, we're going to put in this other pipeline. Nothing we could do about it. They have the easement. Nothing we could do. Sure, in it goes. 10 years later, back again, knock on the door. We're putting in 2 more pipelines. And keep in mind, where we live, it's a Precambrian rock ridge. It's really hard rock. They have to spend all summer drilling and blasting to put these pipelines in. We get to know these pipeline workers very well. Very well. And so they put that one in. And you add that up, line 14, line 13, 6A, and line 61, it's 2.2 million barrels of oil that pass underneath our property every day. That's 10%. Our oil demand in the United States is 22 million barrels a day. We have 2.2 passing through our property. 10% of U.S. oil passes underneath our land. You do the math, the current prices, that's $100 million a day. Over $37 billion a year in value. And how much did Gwen and I get? Nothing. That easement was signed in 1968 by an owner previous to us for about $2,000. 1968. It was a big chunk of land back then. It's been recently subdivided. If you get approached about putting up a wind turbine, you're going to get about $6K a year. I think it's up to $8,000 a year now. We get absolutely nothing other than headaches. Absolutely nothing. And we're called names. They pee on our property. They defecate on our property. They cut the trees on our property. This is how we're treated. That's why I'm here tonight. Now they want more land. So in 2014, they did the survey, and I'm going to just talk about some of the recent actions that have been happening. 2014 was the survey. In 2015, not many people know this, but Enbridge changed the eminent domain laws in our state. Now, if you look at the Ledge Reference Bureau, if you look at what happened in that motion 999 during the 2015 budget, if you look at that, what the Ledge Reference Bureau says is that no, the eminent domain laws weren't changed. And yes, the authority hasn't changed, the process hasn't changed, but the eligibility changed. Enbridge made sure that their business structure, which is not a corporation, that their business structure retained eligibility for applying eminent domain. So that was the change. If you argue with Enbridge about that, they'll pull out the Ledge Reference Bureau report and say, no, it hasn't changed at all. But they did change it. Then Line 3's been constructed. That was a rubber stamp in Wisconsin. What is it, a 15 or 16 mile section, 10 mile section? Getting ready for Line 3 coming through Minnesota, which may be tracking. And then, so that's been happening, and if Line 3 is approved in Minnesota, then this Line 66, for which they surveyed the land in 2014, is coming down our way. And then you've had the problems with Line 5, and the Straits of Mackinac, and the Michigan governor and the attorney general wanting to shut that down. And then most recently, which has gotten me the most upset recently, is this bill before the Senate, our state Senate, Senate 386, that would make it a felony, a Class H felony, to step on petroleum pipeline property. And the language says leased property. And there's no, so they're leasing my land. They've been leasing it for how many years? So Gwen and I don't know if we can be arrested on our own property once we say to Enbridge, don't come on. And you might think that that's far-fetched, and I might be being a little oversensitive, but no, someone was arrested on their property outside of Superior, correct, for the Line 3 construction. And just this year, Keith and I had to stop people unannounced, a crew coming through cutting down trees. And we said, no, you can't be here. It turns out it was one of the standard Enbridge screw-ups where no one got in touch with us that they were coming through. I said, no, you can't come on my property. Now, with this bill, I don't know then if the sheriff gets called and I get arrested. Instead, what happened, and I don't mind telling you, is the guy just asked my name. I said, Mark Borchard. He looked me in the eye and he said, Mark, dickhead, Borchard. That's how it went. And that's when I said, I'm calling the sheriff. But Keith and I had a fun day that day. So this is the sorts of things that they've been doing.
Can I add one thing? I know, I'm not going to take up your time. Is that all right if I say one small thing?
Go ahead. I'm sure we can discuss it. Go ahead.
Okay. 386 is not the original version. 386 has the language that says trespassing for the purpose of First Amendment is a misdemeanor, not a felony.
No, that's First Amendment, or First Amendment. If I just don't even want them on my property, I don't want them.
And you.
But the exceptions,
Can we make sure, like, we focus on that? So
No,
we come back
exactly. I just want
later.
to make sure that you don't mischaracterize 386 as saying everybody's a felon. I worked really hard to get that misdemeanor around.
It's still my driveway.
it's still my land.
No, I understand that. I was talking about the new bill, that's all.
But if you take a look at the exceptions, the exemptions in that bill, it's for First Amendment, right? It's for picketing for unions. It's for monitoring.
Right.
Fifth Amendment? Where's the Fifth Amendment protection?
I'm just telling you.
Where's the property rights protection? None.
Right.
So as I said to Fields the other day, and as I said to the governor's staff the other day, get language in there that protects landowners. Now I have so many stories. The dickhead story is a minor story. There's so many stories out there. We can talk more about that. So anyhow, here's how the Fifth Amendment reads. Just to remind you, this is in our Constitution as a state and in our U.S. Constitution. No person shall be deprived of life, liberty, or property without due process of law, nor shall private property be taken for public use without just compensation. That last part of it is called the Takings Clause. Let me read that again. You cannot, nor shall private property be taken for public use without just compensation. Public use, roads, schools, parks. It's insane. It's insane that a Canadian private company, not even a corporation, a business partnership, has the authority to take our land by eminent domain. for their pipeline. So that's what we've been fighting. And as far as I'm concerned, there's three things that, and this is three elements of this that violates the way we grew up as Americans. You know, property rights. Taking this, you know, it just infringes upon our rights that this can be taken for their private gain. Land for their private gain, of which you get a minor compensation compared to the overall value. Property values. Your property values go down when you have these pipelines on. You think Gwen and I can sell our house for the same price that we bought it for after we have 3 more pipelines on our property? No. If you take a look at the studies, and Enbridge will talk to you, they'll say, no, these studies show pipeline properties, property values don't go down. Look as to who sponsored those studies. It's the American Petroleum Institute, usually. So that's how those come about. And then property safety. We're the ones, as landowners, that our families are at risk. And you might think, oh, that's, how likely is that? It happened in our neighborhood. We had a measly 1-barrel oil spill on line 6A, just next, actually not too far from Keys House. Those people lost their home. Enbridge bought it. It sat empty for
8 years.
8 years while they cleaned it up. And those people were just torn. And they had to sign, Enbridge forced them to sign a non-disclosure agreement where when you ask them about it, the lips seal, but the tears start.
Million gallons?
There's only 1 barrel, 42, 43 gallons. That's what's enough. If you are currently a pipeline owner, or if you have pipelines for line 13, I think it is that the one with the diluent?
Yeah, it's a little.
Is it 13? The safety information we get, we get this, it reads, if you smell it, because this is the diluent that goes back up to the tar sand, so one of those 4 pipelines goes the other direction. It's like a kerosene material that's used to dilute out this oil from the sand. It's highly under pressure, it's highly flammable. And the warnings that we get is if you hear it hissing, and this is really what it says, figure out which way the wind is blowing, and then run like hell upwind. And get in a secure place, don't use your phone because that'll set it off. So they do explode. And that wouldn't be applied to line 5 here, but it's what we live with. So what can the average person do? Why are we here tonight? Well, I've gotten a lot involved with eminent domain, and it's amazing. In South Carolina, they changed the law. They can no longer use eminent domain for oil pipeline companies. I need to backtrack just a little bit. You might wonder, why did Enbridge bother in Wisconsin to change it through this motion 999? It's because, believe it or not, the authority for eminent domain for oil pipelines, not natural gas, but for oil, resides at the state level only. There's no federal component to that. If it was natural gas, yes, then FERC, Federal Energy Regulatory Commission, has to give the certificate in need, and then the company can take the land. But for oil, it all resides at the state. That's why it's possible to change it here. In South Carolina, they changed that law, and the person who did it was a guy by the name of Billy Morse. He runs a media company, he's got $1 billion. Georgia, they pissed off some person there, he's trying to change the law. Ted Turner, he's got $1 billion. If any of you have $1 billion, we're done. We send Brian home. You don't need it. So there's only one way that the average citizen can deal with something like this. Enbridge's strategy is to divide and conquer. Our strategy has been to bring people together and organize. That's how we've been working this. So we formed 2 organizations. The first is called 80 Feet is Enough. 80 feet is the width of that current easement. When I called the Public Service Commission, when they surveyed our property, and I said, how can you do this? How can you take my land for a private company? They said, you need to do your part, Mr. Borchard. You need to do a little bit for the American economy. This is what the Public Service of Wisconsin said to me. I said, are you kidding? I already have 4 pipelines. And so I woke up one morning, I said, 80 feet is enough, damn it. We took off the damn it part, and now it's just called 80 feet is enough. That's the name of the organization. And then the other thing we thought is, we have seen this. We know our neighbors have hired attorneys to fight this. They spend a lot of money alone, and they lose. It doesn't work. So we thought, let's bring our forces together, let's leverage our resources, let's join forces, and we formed the Wisconsin Easement Action Team, which sole purpose is not to fight the pipeline, it's to gain legal representation to make it affordable, and be able to do this as a group. To share information, use economy of scale, gain strength in numbers. James Botsford, you probably followed that story in North Dakota, he spent $100,000.
And he's an attorney himself.
And he's an attorney himself, yeah. So, just to make sure you understand, I'm here tonight as a Wisconsin citizen, very concerned about these oil pipelines, very concerned about property rights in this state. There's a reason we have all these pipelines. It's because Wisconsin is so damn easy to get a pipeline through.
Yeah.
I don't make any money from this. Nothing. I have no financial gain. I'm just here as a Wisconsin native, a Wisconsin friend. That's why I'm here. So, we were struggling, didn't know what to do. I've gotten kind of a name for myself in eminent domain. During the day, I'm a water quality scientist. That's what I do in my day job. But I was attending eminent domain seminars at universities. I was going to eminent domain conferences. And who do I meet? But Brian. I couldn't believe it. It's like, oh my gosh. So Brian is an attorney who's been fighting Keystone XL for 10 years, representing landowners. Brian and I hit it off, and I told him he had this Nebraska Easement Action Team. We talked about Wisconsin. He would help us out. And I just can't believe it. I mean, he is the preeminent attorney in this country on oil pipelines and property rights. He's the guy. And so we couldn't believe that we could get him here. He took the time to become licensed in Wisconsin. Wisconsin Easement Action Team, we have not paid him a penny. We cover his flights and donations. But other than that, he has been paid nothing. And he'll tell you why he does this. So it's just been an absolute stroke of good luck, and actually just a joy. One of the best parts about all this, despite possibly losing my home, is the people we've met, the stellar individuals, and Brian is one of those folks. So having said all that, thank you for coming up. I'm going to give the floor down to Brian. Thank you.